Let's see what else can be learned from a well-used machine. We can say this right off the bat. Ain't nobody wants to go back to these things. These are the quill pedals with toe clip and strap. These are the type I started with. Well, look all over the social media. I don't think you're gonna find, look at my old cycling shoes. You're not gonna find it, but sure were a lot of them. People rode then, and it's the same as today. The pedal is so important because of the shoe. It's the shoe where your body meets the bike. So the interface here is critical. What happened? With this cleat, it would slide into the cage, up, it would engage it, then you pull that strap down, and yes, it hurt your foot. And look at the people nowadays, not so popular anymore. Gotten away from them. But the interesting thing here, these are the original pedals. This is the shoe I had to borrow. Both riders are about 6'2", but check, this doesn't even go in. No way can I engage. What's going on? This rider had short clips because I suspect they were a spinner. At a high RPM, people tend to ride more with their toes. Their foot is back. Slower cadence, big gear pushers tend to have their foot a bit more forward. So that's what I'm thinking is going on. And in fact, we actually have a sticker that they used on their bike that shows they like the higher RPM. Some other interesting witness marks here are these little marks right on the cap, right there on the dust cap. Well, both sides actually have them, but the actual quill we're gonna notice is in good shape. What's going on here? We're suspecting this. We're in a race. We're going into a corner. We're trying to keep up, trying to close that gap. Zing! Another corner. Zing! Yep, I bet they just kissed this, but didn't go down in a ball of flame. Again, we have good cage here. So that was just a little clip. And well, you get that when you're racing. That's what happens. But you know what? These pedals, they can't go anywhere until we get a crank and bottom bracket between them. Bottom bracket time. This style is the cup and cone. The spindle, cone shape. Threaded race, cup shape. Between are trapped ball bearings, cup and cone. This old spindle is beautiful, beautiful surfaces. Everything looks lovely. Well, except some pits right here. We have a few chuck holes in our otherwise beautiful ball bearing highway. But you get what you get, it's gonna go in. Time for an adjustment to make this thing feel smooth and nice. But first we're gonna add a tool. We're gonna use a spindle extender. You call it a crank arm. I'm gonna put this over there. Yes, that is the wrong side. I don't care. It's a tool, not a crank. What am I doing? I am extending the length of that to help check for that play and that knocking. So, spindle extender on the side opposite of where we're adjusting. That's what we're gonna do. Now we begin with the bearing adjustment. We're gonna take the ring, make sure it's loose. That's the lock ring. Take the inner piece, that's the adjustable cup, the race. Down gently, I feel it just hit right there. Stop. I'm gonna run the ring in. I'm gonna tighten that ring down. So the cup is touching the ball bearings. Let's get this on here. I'm gonna hold, snug it up, and then get that thing tight. It is about 20, 25 foot-pounds. It's pretty snug. Then we're gonna check the crank. Oh, yes, there is knocking. I can feel knocking. With all of this distance here, it's easier to feel. This is too loose. I gotta go in a little bit. We're gonna go clockwise, just a little bit. Yes, right there. hold the adjustable, loosen. So from here, ooh, maybe that's all. Maybe that's all we needed. Now I have to hold it and tighten. I don't want the inner piece to creep on me. A little bit tighter. Back and forth. No knocking. No knocking. Okay. Now, we're going to get rid of that arm. We're going to talk about feelings. Our feelings. Pull the arm off. Spindle extender is off. Now, onto those feelings. I will grab these with my sensitive fingers and turn. And wait a minute, there's some drag. I feel there's some drag. This does not feel smooth. Well, guess what? It's as good as it can be. Actually, bearings don't have feelings. We do. Mine are sensitive. These bearings aren't. This is as good as it can be. Anything looser, we had knocking. I don't want to go tighter, but no, it's not. That's as nice as it could be. It's those chuck holes in our little highway for the bearings. As good as it can be, that's what we're going to ride with. You get what you get. Onto the cranks. This crank has got some stories to tell. On the inside, some obvious witness marks here. What could have been here? Very likely that front derailleur. Possible limit screw issues, possible alignment, something's going on. But I think related to this, check this out. Some more witness marks in here. You can see these lines as if a chain dropped over and down and got jammed right in here. Well, if we have a limit screw issue here and a mark here, those go together. But these do not, and they're kind of strange. We have some dents only here, got another set over here. What's that all about? Here's a theory I thought was pretty good from Truman on those marks. Somebody may have been using a screwdriver, round shaft, to jam against the frame. It matches those marks to use as an extra lever when we move in their pedals. Not good understanding of the mechanical advantage. Something we don't recommend, but it would account for those marks. We'll never really know, will we? For the last thing, let's look close at this arm. Riding bikes under a strong rider flexes things. Repeated flexing has left some tiny stress fractures here and over here. Are they serious? Well, are you racing? Yes, they're serious. But we're gonna go ride for some coffee on the weekend. Well, maybe not so much. But to know this, we're gonna put a little scratch right at the end so we don't cross that line. We see growth in that, past that, yeah, we may wanna replace these arms for sure. So, much like an older patient, if there's no change, you let it ride. So that's what we're gonna do here. Let's get these things on the bike. Now let's get these installed. We got a square spindle, we got a square hole. I think I did it right. Bolt has been greased. We're gonna run that thing in and we're gonna pull this thing up about 35 Newton meters. It's pretty snug. One thing that we're not going to put back on that the owner ran with are the dust caps. Not going to do it. These are not the original rings. Well, surprise, surprise, the owner wore out the first set. This is the second set. Owner went out and got drilled rings. Is weight important? Why are we using dust caps? They don't help us go forward. They don't hold anything tight. In this style, these stay off. You're on a race bike, you got to do something. These do nothing. No dust caps. Pedals on and tight. With the pedals in place, it's looking better and better. Still a ways to go before we can get that photo of the bike leaning on things. But say, can we all agree on something? When you take photos of these old war horses that have done their time, that have been out there, let's agree on some shift lever protocol. When you get that picture, this one on the right side, all the way back. This one on the left side, about halfway. It's about like that. That's the gear combination. That's where we want that to be. And you tell me why in the comments below.